good morning. I am Mia. I am going to talk about the Day of the Dead. What is the meaning of the Day of the Dead? The Day of the Dead is a popular celebration to honor the deceased. In this, the memory and presence of the deceased relative is celebrated, who that they return home to be with their relatives and feed on the furnishings that have been dedicated to them. The history of the Day of the Dead. The Day of the Dead has been celebrated in Mexico since before the arrival of the Spanish. In culture, the fate of the dead was marked by the way of life that the person had. With the arrival of the Spanish, the party became mestizo and added new Catholic elements and meanings. On what date is it celebrated? The celebration takes place on November 1st and 2nd, although it usually begins on the night of October 31st. On the night of 1st and 2nd, the burning reached its maximum splendor. People pray and in some areas of the country they spend the night in the pantheons. What does the altar mean? The altar of the dead is one of the fundamental elements of the celebration of the Day of the Dead in Mexico. It represents the vision that the pre-Hispanic cultures had of the dead. The most important elements of an altar are photos of the deceased, food and drink that the deceased liked, candles, beds must be light, and papel picado. The papel picado consists of paper with figures cut out in an artisan way and is characteristic.
The celebration of the Day of the Dead takes place on November 1 and 2 since it is divided into categories. According to the Catholic calendar, November 1 corresponds to All Saints, a day dedicated to the little dead of children, and the faithful departed, that is, to adults. In this celebration of the Day of the Dead, death doesn't represent a living presence. Death is a symbol of life that materializes on the altar offered. These are the most important things, so to speak, that an altar of the dead must contain that is
Your sound is
orange thing that guide or dear departed to find us. The food, that is the food that the deceased like best. Candles signify light, fight, and hope, and are used to guide to decide back to their homes. And the picture of the person, it must be hidden in such a way that it can only be seen through the mirror.
we are going to talk about the jaguar and the relationship between the dead and the life. Okay, who's going to talk about the jaguar?
Hello again. I'm going to talk about the jaguar. The jaguar is a special animal here in Mexico, and we protect the species. And the relation with the jaguar have a relation between the life and it. But why? Well, the relation is because the jaguar was very important in the pre-Hispanic societies. The strength of this great fighter was as a symbol of power and war in the different cultures in Mexico. Was associated with the powers of darkness and the underworld in many pre-Hispanic cultures. And the jaguar also has important mystical characteristics. It's considered to be a being that can transit between the world of the living and the dead. So, for that reasons, the jaguar has been important in our culture.
Yes, and for a week all the students were working and making a jaguar mask. The materials we used were balloon, newspaper, resistor, engrudo, water, ink, sheets, paperboard, painting brush, and painting. The engrudo is a paste made with starch and water. We follow the process of lining a balloon with newspaper and glue. Then we cut in half and made the ends. Later, we bend to shape the mask with a mixture of paste, resistol, and ink cones, making the paste. At the end of shaping, we made the ears and fangs. Everything we did with the dough, we covered with newspaper and glued it. Then we cover everything with white sheets to make it soft. And finally we paint it in this last step. We all let our imagination fly, and that is why each of the masks is unique. Finish.